Alrighty, folks, it is time for round 3 of Grand Prix Caersol. Pairings were literally just posted, and my opponent and I decided we would just get the game out of the way right here, right now. Up against Nyx on Mono Black Midrange. This is going to be... I've said I'm nervous about matchups thus far, and they've been decently smooth, but this is a matchup that is designed to try and get a grip on the board. This is a deck that I couldn't fully make sense of when I looked at it during the decklist stream, but one of the things that I said during the decklist stream is that the lesson I learned last month is to never underestimate Nyx, because Nyx always cooks up something pretty remarkably strong. They have a particular history of coming up with very powerful combo decks, but this is a sort of fairer deck in comparison. Opponent is already in lobby waiting for me, so we'll go through this deck really quickly. They are on 4 copies of Unmaker of Thought as their only early creature. 2 mana 1/1 when it enters, or they chant it for a single black while casting an instant or sorcery. Each opponent with 2 or more cards in hand discards a card. So if we have 1 card in hand, this can't get rid of that last card, but it can make us discard a card if we have more than 1 card in hand. Not too big of a deal. We're actually kind of built to not care about that a whole lot. So a nice little bit of advantage for us. And then otherwise, their creatures are pretty top-end focused. They've got a full playset of Transcendent Council. Beginning of combat on their turn, we have to sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent while this is in play. If we do, they tap Transcendent Council. If we can't, it gets to stay untapped as a 4-mana 6/6 flyer. All black pips, but this is a mono black deck, so it doesn't really matter to them. Really dangerous if it goes unchecked, but we're putting enough on board that I think we will be able to pay that combat tax without losing a ton of momentum. But in multiples, this will absolutely murder us pretty quickly. And then otherwise, 2 copies of Inner Ring's Pupil, another 4-drop, 4 mana 3/3, pretty classic at this point. Enters or attacks, target player discards a card. If they can't, they sacrifice a creature. If they can't, they lose 7 life. So really just trying to attrition us out. And that all gets capped off by their 1-drop/10-drop, Rostabal the Enduring Star. This is primarily here, I think, for Path of Oblivion, just going to have us discard a card for 1 mana, and then we lose 2 life and they gain 2 life unless we discard a non-land card. Another case, much like Unmaker of Thought, where we're going to be able to shrug that off more often than they would like, because, we don't want them to gain life, but we also want to be discarding non-land cards anyways. So this can kind of enable some of our more unfair things. Same with Unmaker of Thought. So that's going to actually be really dicey for them to lean on, especially early on. And then if they ever get to cast this 10 mana 10/10 flyer, we lose half our life, rounded up, they gain life equal to the life we lost. It can very quickly end the game from there. The concern there is that they are also on a bit of removal. They've got 2 Twilight Ambush in the main, thankfully not the full playset, and we are able to outscale this eventually, but this will be able to kill some of our early threats. They're on 3 copies of Damned to Hell, which is going to be a pretty effective pseudo board wipe. Not able to kill everything on our board in most cases, but usually we'll be able to pick off the most relevant things pretty efficiently. And then a full playset of Die As Thou Wilt as an Edict, pretty effective flexible edict, so they can sort of protect one of their creatures if they need to, or they could just make us sacrifice a creature. I imagine it's often just going to be an edict in this particular matchup, but the indestructibility could also be relevant as a combat trick if that ever comes up. And then they've got 4 playsets in their sorcery slot, 4 copies of Duress, also much like with the other discard effects, not super relevant in this particular matchup. I started off showing off Nightfall. It's going to be their primary board wipe. Give all creatures -4/-4 until end of turn, or if we have an empty board, they can make a 4/4 to start clocking us. And then finally, 4 copies each of Night's Whisper and Past Unresolved. These are both going to be 2 mana, draw 2, lose 2 life, and then Past Unresolved also mills them for 2. That's rounded out by 19 swamps and 4 Karaz Observatory. No downside to playing this. It's just a better swamp because it will always enter untapped. They can pay a black, tap it, and exile a card from our graveyard to make us lose 1 life at sorcery speed. So if we're both out of resources, they can still get something done with Karaz Observatory. This is going to be pretty sketchy. They're designed to kind of grind things out and obliterate our board. We're going to have to try and push damage whenever we can and just leverage the fact that their means of peeling head for card advantage are going to hurt them. Alrighty. They're providing facts for the intro. I see. Scotland's national animal is the unicorn, and it's impossible to hum while holding your breath. Also, the small plastic bits on the ends of shoelaces are called aglets, and the rumble in your stomach is called a womble. Those are all neat. Opponent has rolled a 7. I rolled a 15. That is really good for me. Alrighty. Mountain, Swamp, we've got Calamity Cat, Exorcist, Exorcist, Fabricated Anomaly, Fabricated Anomaly. That's about what we could ask for. Cat into Exorcist, pretty annoying. Cat into Exorcist is actually really strong because we can also just use Cat into Exorcist. If we can just like put counters on Exorcist, they just never get to kill this. And then the cat insulates from edicts. So we will go Mountain into Calamity Cat and ship on over. Thinking about what to discard here to Calamity Cat, they do play Swamp and pass. They don't have a ton of 1-mana plays, so this is not surprising. We find a Mercenary of Dusk. I think I'm going to pitch this because there is no second black source right now. So let's go ahead and run out the Exorcist of Errors. See if they have any responses. All right. They're going to reveal Die As Thou Wilt as a 2-of, Transcendent Council, and Damned to Hell. Well, we can assume they're probably going to play one of their edicts. The concern with going for Calamity Cat here is they could absolutely blow us out if they have one of their 2 copies of Twilight Ambush, but I think I have to just accept that that's a necessary sacrifice. I'm going to take one of their Die As Thou Wilts, because if they fire off the other one, I just keep the Exorcist of Errors, sacrifice the Calamity Cat, and then they have... they don't have any more 2-mana removal available. And then we need to remember they've got Transcendent Council, Damned to Hell, and then one more Die As Thou Wilt. Again, if they have the Twilight Ambush, this is really awkward, but I think I need to just try and go for it. See if they have a response. They do not respond, so we get to put a counter on the Exorcist of Errors. Swing in for 3. And if we can get just one more counter on the Exorcist, then it is insulated from Nightfall as well. The idea there is if we can just hit another land drop, we can Fabricated Anomaly the Exorcist to insulate. They're going to pay 2. They're going to Die As Thou Wilt at instant speed. We're just going to sacrifice the Calamity Cat. We will untap. We will draw. Ignited Soul is not going to cut it, but I think we're going to go for the second Exorcist of Errors. See what they have now. So they're going to show Damned to Hell and Transcendent Council, as well as a second copy of Transcendent Council. I think that's fine. I'll take... So if they've got 2 lands in hand, they have enough mana to play Transcendent Councils, but they have nothing to do next turn. I think I'm fine just taking Damned to Hell here. We put them off of being able to swamp cycle it if they're missing a land. And then they've got 2 Transcendent Councils in hand. Bash in for 3. Ship on over. Don't like missing the land drop here, but not surprised it's happening. They do have a Karaz Observatory here. They could relevantly hit something in our graveyard here. Oh, they're choosing not to. Okay. So it could have been they had land, double council, and they might have just drawn something that they couldn't play here. We untap, we draw. Sanguine Palace. I'm going to shock that in. Go for a Fabricated Anomaly. They say K. We'll make a puzzle box. I'm going to puzzle box now, loot away Ignited Soul, and draw a card. We find a Temple of Origins. All right. Seeing if they have anything before we go to attacks. They say K. I'm going to put the counter on the Exorcist of Errors. That already has one. So it is now successfully out of range of the effect that they had. So they took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Alrighty. And so they do have the 4th land. They do have the Transcendent Council here. Okay, so they're going to play Transcendent Council. Thinking on sacrifice. I don't want to give them back their Damn to Hell if I can help it. I think we just sacrifice the Fabricated Anomaly here. Yeah, we're just going to sacrifice the Fabricated Anomaly. And then that thing just being unable to block is really good for us. We will untap. We will draw. We find another Sanguine Palace. Let's loot away a Temple of Origins. Draw a card. We find Dark Sun Migrant. I think... So we could just go, like, Fabricated Anomaly, Sanguine Palace, Dark Sun Migrant. Burn 2 cards in graveyard, shove. Because if they go for Transcendent Council, we just play 2... We just sacrifice the Anomaly, sacrifice the Migrant. I'm trying to think about, like, we could go Fabricated Anomaly, loot away the Dark Sun Migrant. If we find... Nope, that is not our deck. If we find a Face of Animosity that's lethal, as well, we are risking them untapping and finding another copy of Damn to Hell, at which point they can Damn to Hell, kill, like... Exorcist, Dark Sun Might. No, if they do that, they kill the 4/3, sorry, the 3/4 Exorcist and Dark Sun Migrant, and then we sacrifice Anomaly to the combat trigger, and we still have lethal. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and play out a new Anomaly. We get a new untapped puzzle box. We're going to shock in a Sanguine Palace, play a Dark Sun Migrant, and go to combat. Jam for 7 here. Take them to 1. Their draw spells are no longer viable. Second Transcendent Council does not get there. This Dark Sun Migrant is a 2/1. And I think we are there. They go to combat. I think we are going to sacrifice Fabricated Anomaly over Dark Sun Migrant. No, we're going to sacrifice... I'm definitely keeping both of my Exorcists here. We are going to pop the Dark Sun Migrant, I think. No, we're going to pop the Fabricated Anomaly. Because if they have Damn to Hell here, they gain 5. We're going to sacrifice the Dark Sun Migrant because if they have another Damn to Hell here, they can gain 5, but they can only kill 1 thing. All right. Sacrifice the Dark Sun Migrant. All right, and they concede. That is game 1 already cleaned up. We are doing the thing. We're going to bring in coordinated shots. Those just seem very good here. We could look at Dire Visionary, but I think going wide doesn't really have a whole lot of meaningful returns, given that they are looking to play 7 sweepers against us. But we should talk about what our opponent is on the sideboard for. They have full playset of Crucible of the Burning Sun. I suspect that could be coming in, but I don't know if I entirely care. 2 copies of Golden Bloom of the Silence could also be relevant to shut down some of our creatures, though some of our creatures really just don't need to do things long-term besides just being stats. They drew the full playset of Transcendent Council. Oof. Yeah, not what was needed at all. Long-term, that is really devastating for me, but short-term doesn't really matter here. But yeah, Golden Bloom of the Silenced could be decent for, maybe at least like taking away the innate haste from Spirit Realm Phoenix. But other than that, not really a whole lot that it is doing meaningfully. Karaz Layspire maybe gets some value here just as a good defender that can strip some cards away from us, but I don't know how important that is. They're probably boarding in the 4th Damned to Hell. They're probably boarding in the 3rd and 4th Twilight Ambushes. They could maybe be boarding in Data Wipe and Go Blank. But I think the instants are the things that are most important here. I think they could probably get away with a heavier sideboard plan just because Rostabal, Unmaker of Thought, Duress are all dead against us. So that's 10 cards out. Then they get to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and maybe like 1 Golden Bloom or 1 Crucible. And then maybe they even like make more room by just shaving down on how many draw twos they have. I think Coordinated Shot is the only thing I'm urgently looking to play with that in mind. Twilight Ambush, not good in this matchup. Absentia, not good in this matchup. We will go down the 1 Ignited Soul. We could maybe go down Manifest Not. We could maybe go down March of the Long Night. We could... I think I'm going to do more of a Scatter Shot cut plan here. I'm going to go down 1 Manifest Not, 1 March of the Long Night, 1 Ignited Soul. With us being on the draw, we'll go down to Phoenix, I think. Alrighty. I assume my opponent's going to be on the play here. They have confirmed as much. 2 lands here. Calamity Cat, Dark Sun Migrant, Ignited Soul, Exorcist Coordinated Shot. This is pretty good. We've got the turn 1 red source for Calamity Cat, and then we've got double black. They're going to 6. I'm going to keep 7. The puzzle here is I'm not sure what to discard to Calamity Cat. They're going to keep 6 here. So as we do have 2 draws to find out what we're going to discard. So we will draw a March of the Long Night. That's pretty good. Let's go ahead and shock in Sanguine Palace, run out Calamity Cat, and pass. See if they have a Twilight Ambush here for us. They choose not to ambush, which either means they are being restrained on their ambush or they don't have one. They pass here. We will untap. We will draw another Swamp. I think here I'm going to look at maybe discarding the Exorcist of Errors. So let's go ahead and play Swamp, run out Ignited Soul. See if they have any responses. They say K. Run out Dark Sun Migrant. We do it in this order, so that way if they have a Die as Thou Wilt, we can sacrifice the Ignited Soul to keep Migrant plus Calamity Cat. So question now becomes, what do we discard to Calamity Cat? What do we discard to Dark Sun Migrant? Do we discard anything to either of these? So it's 4 damage if we can connect with Dark Sun Migrant and these discard effects. Alternatively, we just appreciate going wide for now and make them just deal with our wider board, and then we can try and leverage what we've got later on. I think I would like to try and Calamity Cat here. Yeah, I'm going to use Calamity Cat, pitch an Exorcist of Errors. They say K to that. We get a 2/2 Migrant. It does. Yeah, they're realizing what Calamity Cat is capable of here. This thing is still so good even after the nerf. We're going to go to combat. Swing in. No discards, I think. Thinking on attack trigger. So we kind of just burn a card for no value here if we discard something. I'm not keen on discarding Coordinated Shot right now. I'm not keen on discarding the Swamp. I think we're just going to say no discards, yeah. All right, so we deal 2 to them and pass. Did they have a Die As Thou Wilt? They did not play anything. Not confirming or denying that they had something, but we are once again land pass. We untap, we draw. We find a Manifest Knot. That is interesting. I think I am going to pitch the Swamp here to Calamity Cat, but I'm going to lead with March of the Long Night, targeting Exorcist of Errors. So see if they are cool with that. They say okay. This deals 3 to them, and we get to look at their hand. All right, so they have Transcendent Council, Nightfall, Twilight Ambush, Inner Ring's Pupil. Nightfall. I think at that point, Council, Nightfall, Ambush, Pupil, I just take the Nightfall. If I take the Nightfall, then they kind of just don't care. They just Twilight Ambush the Exorcist and then get me anyways. Oh, this is just rough. And of course, if I take the ambush and they have a 4th land or draw a 4th land, then they just Nightfall my board anyways and eradicate me. So thinking about the most damage I could deal this turn. Discarding a card to Calamity Cat would be no different than discarding a card discarding a card to put a counter on Dark Sun Migrant would be no different. But it is relevant to discard a card here for the sake of getting my hands down to 1 card. If I use Calamity Cat, use Dark Sun Migrant. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage. If I go take Twilight Ambush, Calamity Cat Exorcist, swing with 1 +3, +3, discard another card to Dark Sun Migrant. I think I pitch Manifest Knot Swamp in that context. And then probably just hold the Coordinated Shot. It feels awful to say keep the Nightfall, but I'm going to say they keep the Nightfall. Now, if they have a second Twilight Ambush, I think we're just dead anyways, which is part of why I am just kind of cool with this being the line. We're going to pitch a Manifest Not to Exorcist. They have the second Twilight Ambush. Oh, I think this is probably just game. Yeah. I'm just going to say that's GG's. So they had Transcendent Council, Inner Pupil, Nightfall. They literally just need a fourth land. I'm going to just say K. We're going to play land, combat. Yeah, and they're just going to push Dark Sun Migrant. We just swing for one. They don't even really need the Nightfall at this point. We will pass. Yeah, and they have the fourth land. I'm going to say GG's here. Unfortunate. All right, on the play, we could maybe look at going back up on the fourth Ignited Soul. Maybe just take out the Manifest Knots here. That is that right there is player navigating Exorcist of Errors very masterfully. I think I do like the fourth March. Doesn't seem like they were looking to go up on Graveyard Hate, but we didn't see a ton from them. I think I like Coordinated Shot. I like the burn. I could maybe we don't play the Ignited Soul. Maybe we do play the Spirit Realm Phoenix instead. Just hasty threat here. We could also look at going down to 3 Mercenary of Dusks over the fourth Ignited Soul. Just 1-drop a little bit better than 2-drop, especially 2-drop with really restrictive casting cost. I think we're going to rock it like this. No, I think we're going to go the Mercenary. We're going to go down 1 Ignited Soul, 3 Manifest Knots. Manifest Knot has not felt super amazing. It's been all right, but just awkward here. I don't think I have time to want to use it. They say just hoping to bait a Calamity Cat trigger, and yeah, that's pretty reasonable. We find Sanguine Palace Mountain, Dark Sun Migrant, Ignited Soul, Face of Animosity, Spirit Realm Phoenix, Spirit Realm Phoenix. We're going to say keep 7. They're going to 6. I do feel like that game got to put on display why I think this is a very difficult matchup for us. They're going to keep 6. I think we do still just shock in the Sanguine Palace. Our life total does not matter as much as theirs in this matchup. And we're going to go for Dark Sun Migrant here. And pass. They play Karaz Observatory and pass. We will untap. We will draw. We find a Calamity Cat. I think with the Calamity Cat draw, I'm inclined to just send in with Dark Sun Migrant and pitch a Spirit Realm Phoenix and see what happens. We're going to go to start a combat. Do they have a thing here? They are thinking. I am not sure I want to face Venomosity here. I think I would rather just swing in, see if we can hit an untapped land off of the Migrant trigger, and then just run out Ignited Soul Calamity Cat. They say, oh, nothing? Okay, nothing from them. Swing in, attack trigger. I am going to pitch a Spirit Realm Phoenix, impulse into Exorcist of Errors. Yeah, they take the 2. Well, we'll go for that then. They're going to ambush the Exorcist, showing Night's Whisper, Nightfall, 3 lands. All right. I'm asking if they'd be willing to reveal their hand. Yeah. All right. Makes it a little easier to show and track, so I'm not just doing it in my head or doing it off of Cockatrice. But yeah, Night's Whisper, Nightfall. So we need to be mindful of Nightfall coming down soon. They're going to go for Night's Whisper. So they have 3 unknowns plus the board wipe coming in here soon. We untap, we draw Mercenary of Dusk. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is half their life total here. I mean, I think we just do that before we see anything else. Fabricated Anomaly is the exile here. We are going to... face Venomosity this. All right. They take 8, down to 8. We're going to play out... We could play Calamity Cat, or we could pay a mana to get Spirit Realm Phoenix back to hand. We're going to, I think, play the Calamity Cat. Okay. Well, Dark Sun Migrant plus Face Venomosity doing its job. They play land and pass. They could have another Twilight Ambush. We will untap. We will draw. We find Temple of Origins. I mean, yeah. We will play the Temple of Origins. We will play the Spirit Realm Phoenix. Should set the annotation to black-red. Dark Sun Migrant is now a 3/2. So if they have a Twilight Ambush here, they'll be able to survive the turn, but we're threatening to take them down to 4. We will go to combat. See if they have anything here. They say GG's. They found a second Nightfall and a second Night's Whisper, and then damn to hell. Whew! Kill them before they can wipe your board. Just a little too fast. All right, that is going to be round 3 to us. We have officially locked ourselves in for Top Cut here, but there is going to be another round. If my opponent is 3-0, they could offer the draw. I think, given how few matches I got to play last month, I'm inclined to just take the match anyways. But we may not be paired against another 3-0 player. We'll have to see where things land when we get to that round. So double strike on a 1-drop is a hell of a set of words. Yeah, I can't imagine Dark Sun Migrant survives through to next month. This, I think more so than anything I played last May, is just feels too egregious. Yeah, so that's going to wrap it up here. Hope you all have enjoyed this match. I hope you all are enjoying the season. As always, links are in the description below for all your key resources if you have not checked them out before or already. Especially the Custom Magic Discord server where you can join the Revolution channels and play the format for yourself. Until next time, I'll see you all in the Revolution chat. Bye-bye!